Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear planets. Come. Happy birthday to you. Hello, everybody. My name is Watto, and I am the warm-up comic slash announcer slash sidekick slash flying space jewel here on the George Lucas talk show. Who here has ever been to a taping of a live talk show before? I'll open it up. Let's say any live TV show taping before. And if you have, Adam Conover, are you saying that you have been to a live TV taping or not? I would love for you to weigh in, Adam Conover. If you have been to a live TV taping before, please put an emoji of a strawberry in the chat. One of our guests is saying in the private chat that they have been to a taping before, but I need the strawberry emoji. Because here's the thing, we don't have a live in-studio audience. This is where we get our energy from, is the chat. And that's why I need to know if I'm dealing with neophytes here, because if you've been to a live TV show taping before, that doesn't mean shit around these parts, because this is the George Lucas talk show. It's its own beast. So to show that you have the bona fides, which are very different, if you have been to a taping of the George Lucas talk show before, use a raspberry emoji. It's very different. Listen, the point is, use the chat throughout the show to show us when you like something. Ha 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 ha. Clap, clap, clap. Yes, I like it. Oh no, please don't do that. And you can also go to Twitter, a very normal place where very calm and reasoned discourse happens on a regular basis. And spread your love of the show. Tweet at us. G. Lucas Talk Show, Planet Scum Live, at Watto Though. Share your fan art and also use these hashtags. Let's see the hashtags. Hashtag Adam Can Grant. Hashtag Adam McCann Conover.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fundamentally not meant to be said out loud.
Just go to the next one.
Hashtag College Hugh Mordor 66.
That's a better one.
Yes, that's a better one. Hashtag Great. Adam doesn't get it, for the record, Patrick. Hashtag Orion Dune Seacrest type.
Yeah, Dune C's on Tatooine. Adam played a Ryan Seacrest type on BoJack. You know, it's a pun.
Jesus fucking Christ. Hashtag Amira Jen Kirkman. Yeah, that's how a hashtag goes.
There you go.
Hashtag Dune C lately. You're doing 2 Dune C references?
Yeah, you got it sometimes.
I don't even recognize, I don't remember that being a thing.
Yeah,
Dune C lately for Chelsea lately.
Yeah. Obi-Wan lives out beyond the Dune Sea. He's kind of a strange old hermit.
Fuck off. Hashtag Marvelous Mrs. Maz Kanata. And that one's good, and who gave you that one?
Yeah, that was you, Watto.
That was Watto, because what was your pitch?
Marvelous Mrs. Either Marvelous Mrs. Mazel or Marvelous Mrs. Mothma. It was one of those two.
You said Marvelous Mrs. Mazel, and I said add the Kanata. It's cleaner. Let's start this show.
George Lucas.
This is not George Lucas. This is Watto. Where's George Lucas?
As the crawl started, I saw George's little camera disappear, and I think his Wi-Fi went out. And I saw him just come back 1 second ago, and then it just disappeared.
Oh, no.
So I think you and I got to start this. We got to,
oh boy.
stuff off like George.
I tried putting an orange gel on my little light, but I think then it makes me look like I'm on Mustafar.
Sure.
This is better, right?
That's way better. How are you doing, Watto? How's your week been?
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah. That's
good.
Yes.
Watto got his first dose of the vaccine.
Watto! I didn't know that the CGI Americans were qualifying in
that was New York City. They expanded the guidelines, and now anyone over the age of 30 or over 75% digital. Because before, it was like you had to be overwhelmingly practical to get the shot. You could be a little bit of both. Like the Where the Wild Things Are monsters got in early because they're 90% practical digital face.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Well, that's good. I'm really happy for you. I do want to say we did just get a text that says, bye-bye, no show for me tonight.
I can't tell how much of this is a bit or not, but I'm going to say let's not wait for him. Let's start the show. So get.
I'm George Lucas, creator of Star Wars.
Talk about the little twist.
Wow. So
you were
going to start the show without me.
Well, you had texted bye, no show for me tonight. How are we supposed to interpret that?
Less of a text and more of a test.
I guess the training begins now.
Patrick, now I see what will happen if I ever can't make it to the show. You'll just continue as if I never existed.
You know what they say about how, like, if you die, it will take a dog. Like, I know you won't, but I'm saying hypothetically, if one were to die alone in a home or an apartment with pets, right? Yeah. The stat is that, like, it will take a dog like 30 weeks to start eating you to survive, and it will take a cat like a day. And it will take Patrick 1 hour. Not even. Maybe 5 minutes he starts nibbling.
Yeah, he'll get a good laugh.
He'll get a good laugh.
The laughs will start before the nibbles.
Here's the order. A laugh, a snack, and then a nap.
Watto, do you want to tell our guests how we like to introduce our guests on this show?
I was about to do it, and then George came in with a little twist.
A little twist.
Just a little twist. Guests! Hello, can you hear me in the digital waiting room? We do things a little bit differently around here.
Oh, no, Watto.
For a second. Come back for a second. You know that where you go to restaurants and they're like, so have you eaten here before? We do things a little differently around here. They're all large portions. I was doing like a joke on that.
Sure. Have you had tapas before? Like that kind of thing.
We do things a little differently around. Anyway, that was the source of the humor for me. Thank you for making me full screen again. Guess. Oh, no, sorry, George. Let's go back to everyone. What were you saying, George?
I was saying I liked it.
Oh, thank you. I did the joke for you. Okay. Guess we would love to introduce you here on the show, but I can't do it until you write your own introduction. So write your introduction in the private chat. I will read it verbatim. That's a warning. And your introduction can be sincere. It can be funny. Or it can be a little sincere and a little funny, like Barry Levinson's Avalon.
What's another example of a movie like that, Watto?
You don't need another example. That's the perfect example.
It's out of curiosity.
Look, Patrick's got a limited imagination. I would say off the top of my head, another example of a movie like that is Barry Levinson's Tin Man.
Right. but I would say that film's a little more caustic.
Sure.
Well, sure, I'd have to change the ratio a little bit. Let me say this, though.
Tin Man's getting ratioed by Watto.
Tin Man getting ratioed by Watto. Let me say this. I want to say this from the bottom of my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Conover is a guy who created a TV show, but in an unfortunate twist of fate, is now appearing on Twitch.
Wow.
And Jen Kirkman is a writer, comedian, podcaster, and she also has a lot of impressive credits that make her seem rich and like she's doing okay, but she very much needs more work for 2021. Please welcome to the George Lucas Talk Show, Adam Conover and Jen Kirkman!
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the George Lucas Talk Show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, Jen, you are muted, Jen.
Jen.
I want to make sure we didn't mute you, Jen. You muted yourself, please.
Yes.
Sorry, I saw that and I thought it was a producer choice,
No, we're not that kind of show where we would mute the only female voice on the show.
What?
This isn't Return of the Jedi where I cut out all the female X-wing fighters.
No.
I was asked to wear a bikini and I said no, and I'm so glad you still let me come on today.
Yeah, that was not by me though. That was Planet Scum. That was that came straight from the top. That was not from anyone.
You should also know we asked Adam the same thing, and we asked that of every guest. It's just an option. We like to give people the option.
Yeah. Now, Adam, this is your first time. You made a little joke about it was a status joke, which I appreciated, right? That you're now appearing on Twitch. Because normally you're a basic cable or streaming guy, basically, right? You work for streamers or you work for basic cable. You ever work for network?
Do you refuse?
Never for network. No, that's the heaven of the entertainment industry, and I've not yet made my way there. It has the best residual rates, and unfortunately, I don't receive them.
I mean, Jen, you've worked for network, but Connor, we don't want to leave Jen out. Jen's worked for network. We're talking to Molly from Modern Family right now.
Okay, wait a second. Patrick, I'm sorry. Jen, I have so many questions about Molly from Modern Family, but we have to address several things that Patrick just did.
Yeah.
One, this is something, unfortunately, of a recurring segment on this show, which is George starts asking a question, the guest starts answering, and then Patrick asks a different question. Sometimes it is of a different guest, sometimes of the very same guest. Patrick acts like, I got to keep the show moving, as if a guest does not have a question in the wings waiting to be answered.
Well, it's funny, too, because he brought up something that I didn't even remember the name of the 4 lines I had in an episode of Modern Family 2 years ago. and I actually don't think I did a good job because a couple of my scenes were cut. And I take that personally. Yep.
Well, spoiler, Jen, about 15 minutes from now, Patrick's going to ask you what you think Molly is doing in 2021.
Yes, get ready.
Get ready for that.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Yeah, hold on to it.
Also, Patrick, you have to stop addressing your roommates when you're on this show.
Yeah,
you're always calling out to Connor and Griffin, your fucking roommates. This is the George Lucas Talk Show.
Yeah.
Get your head in the game.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm sure having done over 300 hours of show in the past year, once we get to hour 400, I think Patrick will learn that lesson.
He's going to understand who is on the show with him.
Now, Jen, I would say you were cut out of a few scenes.
Yeah.
But when did Modern Family first start? When were the first Modern Family seasons? When did that show begin? 2005, maybe 2000, around then.
No, 2009. I think.
2009.
I've only seen it once. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Was it your episode? Is that the one you've seen?
No, I won't watch myself. I watched it once when someone told me that everyone has to, know what this show is because now we all have to pitch shows that are the same show. You know how that happens.
But I would say just because your scenes didn't make it into the original airing, you still have 30, 40 years before a special edition of Modern Family, the series, might come out, which might include all of your scenes that you shot.
With an apology, I hope that's like we didn't get what she was going for at the time. You know what I mean? It was almost like a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah, I do think that is the future of television. Is they'll re-edit everything and add more apologies.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Hey, do you? I'm now Patrick. I'm interrupting myself with a question
Great.
no one asked.
Thank you, Jen.
But do you want to hear a funny behind the scenes, really quick network story about something?
Yeah, we do.
Yes. I love to hear about those rascally suits.
Okay. I, for one season, wrote on a sitcom that only lasted one season in 2010. It was on NBC.
Perfect couples.
Yes. And NBC wasn't having a very good year. Even the shows that were big hits weren't getting, as many viewers as would make a network happy. And us writers would say, there's some old Paul Reiser show in the NBC closet that was filmed 10 years ago. It's not like they're going to pull that out and cancel us. And they literally pulled this old Paul Reiser show out of the closet and canceled us, even though we'd already filmed stuff. They wouldn't even air it. And they put this Paul Reiser clunker on the air that did even worse. Anyway, it's not that funny. I guess you had to be there, but it would be like if you were married to someone and they were like, hey, it's not like I'm going to have sex with the 82-year-old neighbor next door and just leave you. And then they do that. And you're like, wow, that's rough. This is bad. I should let myself go.
Paul Reiser show.
Yeah.
Jen, no, Patrick, what were you going to say about the Paul Reiser show? Are you going to start defending the Paul Reiser show?
I promise I'm not. I watched one episode. Famously, a Curb. They tried to make it like Curb on network TV. And to make it not weird, they had Larry David in the first episode be like, you're doing my thing. And he was like, yeah, I am. And then they just kept going with the show.
Wow.
Very, very bizarre.
Jen, yeah. I just want to reassure you, because you seem self-conscious that we did not laugh at your story.
No, not you guys. I could hear myself and I wasn't laughing.
Well, no, but here's the thing. You saw George go off into a far place. It's not that we don't relate to this story. It's that we relate too much. You do not know how close this story hits to home. If I can just say this as briefly as possible. George tried to make his own comedy series as well, called Star Wars Detours. That was like around the same time. Early 2000s, George said, I'm out of the serious sci-fi. I want to do comedy. I'm going to do a show that's like Star Wars, but funny. And he didn't want to go through the executives in the networks. So he just wrote a check, staffed a room. They wrote 39 episodes.
We produced episodes.
He hired animators. They animated 39 episodes. They got in the booth. They brought in actors. They recorded 39 episodes. They locked 39 episodes. Then George had Star Wars stolen from him by Disney, who left just $6 billion behind. And he went, well, at least they'll release my baby, my final work. Disney, they're famous for releasing animation. Jen, not a single episode has ever been released. They have been on the shelf for a decade. There are 39 episodes of a Star Wars show written and produced by George Lucas. Disney has a streaming service. We've been in a fucking pandemic for the last year. They could put them all up there with the push of a button. They won't do it.
They keep holding press conferences where they announce 11 new Star Wars series at a time that they haven't made. Things that they're like, we're going to make more. Meanwhile, we not only did we produce 39 episodes, we wrote several more seasons worth of scripts that are ready to go into production. And
well, it just goes to show, no matter how successful you are, it's a hard business.
It's a rough business.
Yeah.
Now, Adam, you were delighted by that story. You really
that's a really good story.
You perked up at the idea that my show is being held hostage by a huge corporation.
Well, there are so many people who would like to see that, and they never will, and I think that's funny. I think it's really funny that they'll never see it. That I got some friends who make a podcast about the Clone Wars and stuff, but people love just take the tiniest little bit of Star Wars. Yeah. And then this is what we're doing right here because it's inexhaustible. And the fact that there's even lost episodes of Star Wars, no one's seen 39 of them. And
it's more hours of Star Wars with my name in the production of it than I directed theatrically of Star Wars. It's more than my Star Wars theatrical career.
And that's fascinating.
It's also unprecedented because no other filmmaker has ever been so self-sufficient and self-confident to produce so much, assuming that, of course, there would be a market. Who would not release 39 episodes of a George Lucas-produced Star Wars show? That seems inconceivable.
They're releasing 39 episodes of the Star Trek comedy animated show.
Yeah,
well,
right. I mean, I assume they're going to get to 39 of Lower Decks, and that's not Gene Roddenberry didn't make that.
When they get to episode 39 of Lower Decks, that will be a sad, sad milestone. We're not there yet, but you're right. I mean, that is now, of course, if they release Detours, everyone say, "Oh, it's just like Lower Decks."
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Who voiced? You had a picture of Han Solo. Who voiced Han Solo?
I believe it was Academy Award winner Nat Faxon.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is.
He wrote
The Descendants. He's a Groundlings legend.
Yeah, he wrote The Descendants with Jim Rash.
Wow.
Yeah. But Billy D. Williams reprised his role as Lando Calrissian.
Really?
Ahmed Best reprised his role as Jar Jar Binks.
But then
I kind of don't know what's serious right now. Is that really true?
That is real.
We have not told a single lie.
There's no bits here.
No. This is so real.
Incredible.
Who needs bits with this real story?
No, not at all.
This is. Are you guys ever going to run out of Star Wars to talk about? This seems like the ocean that'll never be emptied.
Look at this. Here we go. Hang on.
And also, we barely dug into most of it, Adam, because we just talk about this every week. We just talk about Detours every week.
Seth MacFarlane is in it?
He plays the Emperor!
Seth MacFarlane created this. This is all Robot Chicken guys doing it.
No.
Really?
Seth Green.
Sorry. Seth Green.
Yes.
But still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane plays the Emperor. Weird Al Yankovic plays Bosk, the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say it must be bad, but that's pedigree for adult animated comedy.
Yeah.
If Seth Green did it, it's probably pretty good because, he's got a good track record. Stupid Buddy does go work. Was it Stupid Buddy doing it or was his own animation?
Yep.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of good people, but we'll never see it.
Well,
unless we stage a heist.
Look, we don't want to deal with the legal ramifications, but
George, why not put it up? Why not just? You must have the masters, right?
We have them on the hard drive. We have them on the Google Drive.
My sketch comedy group. We had a deal with the original incarnation of Super Deluxe. The Old English is the name of the group. We had to deal with the original incarnation of Super Deluxe back in 2006. Was your
sketch group named after? Was your sketch group named after? That was what we used to call Sir Alec Guinness.
No, it's named after the malt liquor, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But we made 40 sketches for the original incarnation of Super Deluxe. A year and a half after we started, it went out of business. Turner pulled the plug, and we were like, you know what? Nobody even knows this shit exists. There isn't a lawyer at Turner who knows what this stuff is. Let's just put it on our website. And that's what we did. We never got in trouble. And someone later told me a story that they worked at the new Super Deluxe. No, sorry, that's not true. They worked at Turner before they relaunched. You remember they relaunched Super Deluxe at one point? This was in between.
Yeah.
This was in between. So this person is in the Turner offices. They're talking to an executive. The executive says, "Hey, you want to see something?" And walks over to a closet, opens the closet. There's 2 old PCs sitting on a shelf. And they're like, "That's Super Deluxe." And then they slam the door. That was where hundreds of hours of comedy made by Chelsea Peretti, Jonah Ray, Bob Odenkirk, all these people. They bought so much stuff, early web video, tons of stuff from us. And if we hadn't put it up on our website, it never would have come out because a lot of it hadn't been released yet when the plug was pulled. So if the lawyers don't know about this, George, Disney Plus isn't thinking about it. Just fucking get yourself a BitTorrent server and put it up there.
Do it during this show. You could release 15-minute bits here and there.
Well, here's the thing, because we are making headway. I do like imagining that every now and then some higher up at Disney walks over to the vault, opens it up and says, "There's Song of the South and Detours." And slams the door.
You know, George, I do want to say something. I have been doing some research while this has been going on.
Great.
And
we encourage that. Adam, you need to do more research, or do you have a staff for that? You staff up before you do your research.
Christ.
Wow, they don't work on Easter. He's not.
Oh, like you came up with every fucking piece of Star Wars yourself.
Most of it.
He did, for better or worse.
No,
this
he
was
didn't.
100% George.
Hundo.
No, he had a whole team of designers, and he said, "Hey, give me a General Grievous. Design for me a General Grievous, and I think maybe multiple arms." And then they would come back with.
Have you seen General Grievous? That is the work of one mind.
Yeah, you cannot blame General Grievous on the committee. That comes out to one guy.
No, you point at other people's work.
I want to hear
other people bring their babies to you, and you point and you say that one.
Yeah. Let's see your research, Jen. What do you got?
Well, I think that, I don't know if I have high hopes for Disney doing this, because I have here an article that says after Disney bought Star Wars, George Lucas, you called them white slave owners.
Yeah.
So I feel like you may have pissed some people off, and it's probably not going to happen. And you said it on the Charlie Rose show, and, it's not your fault that he was Me Too'd, but now you're, it's just a lot going on. I feel like,
wait, who was Me Too'd?
Charlie Rose.
Yeah, because he's the one who comes off looking bad in that interview now, not me.
Right. I'd say actually George looks pretty good in that interview, all considering now.
I'm the nice guy in that clip. I wasn't when I did it, but now I am. I'm the hero of that piece.
Okay. All right. I just thought maybe that might be why they don't want to help you out.
I compare what I compared them to was I said selling Star Wars to Disney felt like when you sell your children to the white slavers.
Right. And you need to understand
a bad. I was just saying it feels bad.
Right.
This was an anti-slavery remark. It was just saying it feels bad. Which I think I stand by that. I think it would feel bad. Do you think it would feel good? My God. I look at that. That's the Taco Bell cup.
Watto is a drunk dealer who lives on the remote desert planet of Tatooine. Watto loves haggling and betting on pod races more than anything. Betting on the pod race is how he won his 2 slaves, Anakin and Shmi Skywalker from Gardula the Hutt. George has a very clear... That's a command, so you can never forget when Watto bought a child.
So hold on a second.
I'm sorry, one a child. Go on.
Where's this cup? Where was this cup originally sold?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. So you're going to KFC, Taco Bell, or Pizza Hut.
Back when they were all
and you're saying, give me a Pepsi in a commemorative cup, and they hand you a Watto cup that evokes slavery on it.
Yeah. And gambling.
No, slavery is the worst one, Watto. I don't worry about gambling.
Not equal to gambling.
Cool list, bro. No, I agree. I agree. I said those things. I should have used a different example.
Right.
You could have just said it feels bad, just go with your feelings.
No, but also, I mean, the point is he could have said it feels like when you lose your children in a pod race bet to the blue slaver. Like that's what I was trying to say, is that would probably be a better example.
George, do you want to try it again? Do you want to give us another take of what you would say in 2021?
Right. Well, I think I would take Jen's note. And I would say, Patrick, do you want to be Charlie Rose? Is that what you seem to be gunning for?
Sure.
You seem to have some big take on how to play Charlie Rose.
Not expecting this.
Also, Patrick, don't think I didn't notice that you essentially prompted George with, where do you think George Lucas from the Charlie Rose Show interview would be in 2021? Don't think I missed that you're treating that interview as a character just to do your where would they be in 2021 prompt.
I'm not gonna go grab my bathrobe. I thought about it and I was like, that's too much. No! George.
Yeah.
What did it feel like to sell Star Wars, your baby, the thing you spent so many years on, to the Walt Disney Company?
It felt bad, Charlie, and shame on you.
Nailed it.
Correct. Correct.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank
Wow.
you.
I believe
George.
I believe the Royal Tenenbaums.
Calling it out.
Because Royal Tenenbaums called out Charlie Rose a long time before anybody else did. They had a character who was based very directly on Charlie Rose and his behavior. I mean, why you bury it that deeply in a quirky intergenerational family comedy, but I don't know. But it was
Can I share a story that I heard?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
About Charlie Rose?
Yes.
Let's slap a big allegedly on the front of this story.
No, this is not an allegedly story. This
right.
is
So
something
can we get an allegedly bumper?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Why not?
Amongst his many unforgivable sins, Charlie Rose was also almost always sloshed when he recorded that show. And the story I heard, one of the reasons they go after Charlie Rose hard in the Royal Tenenbaums is Wes Anderson went on Charlie Rose when Rushmore was coming out.
With Murray.
And he had this, with Murray, and he had this very disastrous interview where it was very clear that Charlie Rose was drunk and did not understand anything that was going on and how much the show had to be edited together in post. And the key example of this that I had heard was it took him truly 20 takes to get the title Bottle Rocket right.
Right.
It was I want to see the release of the 20 takes.
Me too.
More than anything else.
This is Orson Welles stuff.
Yeah. Yes, it's Orson Welles with the wine. I just heard, what I have heard is that there were 20 consecutive takes of his first movie, Battle Racket, and then they go, cut. Charlie, it's Bottle Rocket. And you go, okay, got it. His first film, Battle Rocket. No, Charlie. It was just that on repeat. He couldn't get Battle Racket out of his head and variations thereof.
I just read the true story of the Orson Welles wine ads. You know the famous Orson Welles wine ads where the
the French.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Those?
What's the true story? I'm dying over here.
So Mel Magazine, which is a magazine that was sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. It's an online razor store that made a whole magazine. And it just was in the news because they just decided to end the magazine and fired all the journalists because the razor company didn't want to have a magazine anymore. So that's journalism. Yeah. Anyway, they did an oral I can't believe no one had ever done this before. They did an oral history interview with the AD on that ad. And they said what happened was Orson came in. He had been drinking quite a lot. Something was going on the night before. And he said
method acting. Let's make it clear. He was doing some method acting.
Yes. He said, I clearly can't record this. I'm in trouble. He's like, I'm in trouble. What are we going to do? And so they put him there just so that they could get a couple of takes for insurance purposes because they knew they could never shoot that day. And so the takes that you see they're just blown takes. And then after those, he was very nice to everybody. Everyone knew what was going on. They were like, oh, Orson's drunk, unfortunately. We're going to come back tomorrow, but we got to give it at least a shot. And they gave it a shot. And he said, I'm sorry, everybody. And then they went home and they came back and they did it the next day. And I was like, how come nobody knew this? We're all imagining he's a monster to everyone.
Yeah.
When really, everyone was like, oh, poor Orson.
That's a heartwarming story. The best part is the beginning when he
like, I loved Orson.
When he turns to the actor and goes, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything. Question mark.
He doesn't. I've been there many times on a set. Sure. You've been there, Jen, where they say action and you're like, I thought he was supposed to do something.
I'm on heroin and I'm like, I didn't time this out very well. But then you things like that baseball player who pitched an entire perfect game high on acid. Some people do very well under the
no. He pitched the no.
Yeah,
a no hitter.
Yeah. No, but they call it. There's the documentary about him that's amazing, and he keeps calling it the no.
Oh,
that's what they call it.
Wow,
that's a great story. That makes me feel better because I just assumed when you're that drunk, you're abusing people, and he probably yelled at them, and it's nice to know everyone was kind of in on it.
Yeah.
If I was the AD or something like that, living through all these years of people being like, man, Orson Welles, he sucks. That all that stuff we hear about him really sucks. I would have come out earlier and been like, Well, actually, here's the story. You
I
know, you don't wait for Mel magazine to come get you. Tell your side.
He was like, I was just waiting for someone to ask, and it turns out it was the Razor Blade magazine that mostly reports on, I don't know, penis related things. Most of the articles are about penises. I like the magazine. I'm sad they fired everybody.
Rolled out a nice Twitter thread, gone viral, and told his own story on his own terms.
Why didn't Netflix do like a 10-part documentary series on this? They have stretched out thinner stories into more episodes.
Yeah.
If you all, I don't know if any of you listened to the Polyplat series of You Must Remember This that Katrina Longworth did last year.
My girlfriend Lisa did listen to it, and she loved it.
It's very good. There's a point where she starts working for Orson Welles, and I believe, if I'm recalling this correctly, he had purchased a bunch of tapioca pudding, and then when he'd gone through it, he started acting like everyone else. He started raging about who had eaten all the tapioca pudding when it was very clear that he had eaten all the nobody else wanted it. But he went around saying like, "Who ate all my tapioca pudding?"
Okay, so maybe this AD is like deeply codependent, and that's the cover story, and that Orson Welles is probably a monster. Like, did I just get snowed for a good 3 minutes here?
No, because I think that's a charming. I find that a very relatable story. He wasn't like making everyone's life hell. He was just like, who ate all the tapioca pudding? Because he was embarrassed. He had eaten all the tapioca pudding.
Right. Like my takeaway is just the guy was a mess for the last 15 to 20 years of his life.
Yeah.
More than like he was a monster. It was just like that guy's going through some shit for 2 decades.
I just have a hard time believing that a guy in Hollywood who's drunk, who's going through a hard time, super nice on set though. Everything he does is like, no, it's a joke.
I think he was mean to the Peas Man. You know the other one with the peas?
Yes, right.
That's the other famous Orson Welles tape where he's yelling at the guy about the peas. I think he was mean to him. I just think this one story, there's all this other context to the Paul Masson story. But if you've heard other stories about Orson Welles being mean, I'm sure he was mean. I'm not trying to rehabilitate the reputation of Orson Welles.
I mean, look, I don't want to start spilling tea on Orson Welles being mean to other people, but he did go on the Dick Cavett show and say that he met Hitler when he was 5 years old and was not a fan. He said he found Hitler very uninteresting.
That's good, isn't it?
I'm not here to judge.
Boring guy.
That's his take. That is truly his take. And Dick Cavett's like, well, you're saying that in retrospect. And he's like, no, I remember being 5 years old and thinking these guys are really uncharismatic.
I mean,
this is totally true. I've watched this interview so many times.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
Hold on. I'm actually starting to wonder if I'm sure Orson Welles must have had some bad takes. I'm sure he must have.
You want to cancel Orson Welles
for
bad takes?
No. I'm saying I'm sure he must have had some bad takes, but I bet a lot of his takes really hold up. Surprising, like even takes it at the time.
The Hitler take is good. I'll say that.
To someone like Hitler, being called uncharismatic is painful. I think that's a great story.
It's a great take. Yeah.
Do you mean bad takes like bad opinions or bad takes like bad, mispronouncing Paul Masson, like that kind of bad take?
No, we know he has those. We've
seen them.
We've seen them.
Okay. I cut off Patrick. I'm so sorry.
No, I was going to say this is the second time I've heard you talk about Orson Welles today because I watched Adam Ruins Halloween earlier.
Oh, yes.
And you went off.
I went off about the War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
What about it?
Yeah.
I just recently learned myself that there was no mass panic or hysteria.
There was no mass panic.
Oh, you guys are Orson Welles truthers?
There was no flood of people running into the streets believing it. People didn't write letters thinking it was real.
Look at that. Avery Monson in the chat. I was in that one.
Avery Monson.
The great Avery Monson.
Big deal. Everybody was in that episode.
Another great Another great TV actor reduced to being here on Twitch. Poor Avery Monson.
Yeah.
Yes, Avery was in that one. He was very funny. He was an old-timey radio actor. And yeah, it was the newspapers that hated the radio, and they were trying to portray the radio as being untrustworthy. And so they said that everyone believed it, but there's no evidence that there was any kind of panic or that people believed it to a large degree.
So it's almost like
probably a myth.
It's almost akin to people saying like video games cause violence or music videos cause this. Like, is someone with an agenda? Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that part.
I think it's a good hype. I'm more impressed than ever.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think if Orson Welles were to release a podcast today, he'd be able to fool a lot more people.
Elaborate. Please elaborate, George.
I mean, it seems like at any given point, there's at least 20% of the population that you can convince of anything. So I feel like a master showman like Orson Welles, he could fool a lot of people in 20.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he doesn't even need the podcast. He just needs a meme account.
Yeah. Orson Welles didn't like Woody Allen, and he called Alfred Hitchcock arrogant and lazy.
Yes.
I think those takes hold up pretty good.
That's good.
Right?
You know,
I'm not a fan of his work in the Animaniacs reboot.
I didn't know.
Orson,
You like him in the original run, though.
Yeah, I liked him as Brain in the original, but I don't think it holds up in the reboot.
Adam, do you prefer Orson Welles or Orson from Jim Davis's U.S. Acres comic strip?
Orson from Jim Davis's U.S. Acres.
That's your favorite Orson?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I was, I mean, everyone likes Garfield and Friends, but for me, it was all about the and Friends, meaning U.S. Acres.
Yeah.
You just blew my mind that it was called Garfield and Friends, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was because the back half of every episode was U.S. Acres.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which was start Orson the pig and Sheldon the egg, the chick who never came out of the shell.
Yeah.
And who else? Oh, there was Lanolin the lamb.
Wow, this show just became a U.S. Acres Stan account.
there was the duck. I was always very confused by because the duck had like a life preserver ring around him, and then that had a little duck head on the front of it, and the duck head would mirror his expressions, and I would go like, does that toy duck have sentience?
Yeah.
Is this just an artistic flourish, or does it have feelings?
It
Bring the
leaves
duck
to a
up.
toydarian to worry about it.
No, I fixated on the very same thing as a child. I fixated on this entire. I looked at that laser focus on that every time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting the duck up.
I said that.
Here's the
Here
duck.
we go. We got to break.
Look
Yeah,
at him.
there it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What
Wow.
was the name of this duck?
Yeah.
The duck's
Patrick,
name.
look up the duck.
The duck's name is Wade Duck, which feels lazy.
Wade.
Funny
Feels
name. No,
lazy.
funny name.
Funny.
Why?
Wade in the water.
Wading in the water.
It's like what he does.
Okay,
Patrick.
hold on. Let's give Patrick 2 solid minutes to come up with a better name than Wade for this duck.
Yeah, I'll eat the sandwich while you do punch up on Wade Duck.
And
Patrick.
we'll vote, and it'll be and Patrick, you even get a vote.
No, Jen, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, and we'll honestly vote if we like it better. If it's
Okay.
not, we'll
We'll
change.
change it. Okay.
But
What
I'm
is this
telling
art
you-
of the duck? It's very off. It's like a very modern version of the duck. Of
This
Wade.
one? Yeah. Well,
this
there's
on the fandom. Yeah,
there's gotta be a Garfield reboot, right? Some animated Garfield reboot.
Yeah, probably. Affiliations, good. He's on the side of good. Wade Duck.
I like this. He's got a
It's
love-hate
weird.
friendship with Roy.
I did that for all the Star Wars characters. I would always say, like, are they good or are they bad?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
Adam. To get back to the question I was setting up at the very beginning of the show.
I'm gonna think of a name.
Sure.
Wow, Patrick, that was faster than usual. Adam.
Yeah.
So remember when I was saying about how this is your first time on the Twitch show, but this is actually your 3rd time on the George Lucas Talk Show because you
Correct.
appeared on 2 different coasts in 2 different venues as a guest.
And this is the third coast.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The internet. The digital coast.
Hey, we both named it that, which means it must be
Whoa.
true.
Yeah.
Woodward and Bernstein, 2 sources. Woodward and Bernstein famously, if you can get 2 sources, that means run it, because that means it's true. There's no way you could get 2 sources. You can feel safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you always double check everything on your shows, Adam?
Yeah, we fact check everything on the show. On the show, we always do. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do that on Indiana Jones Chronicles. Young Indy. Make sure we get the facts right.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, did you ever have?
Yeah.
Did you ever have like a segment you were really happy with, either at the scripting stage or even further along, and then some new piece of evidence came to light that ruined your Adam Ruins Everything segment? The ruining was ruined at some time.
In fact, the predecessor to the War of the Worlds segment was itself ruined in this way, because we were doing an episode called Adam Ruins Halloween, and we had a pitch from our research staff that the idea of the witch, the archetype of the witch, came from that in medieval Europe. Every town would sort of have like a medicine woman, like a sort of pagan, woman who did herbs and spiritual stuff, but also probably healed people in a real way, set broken bones and stuff like that. But then when the church came in, they saw these women as their enemies, and so they slandered them and said that they, jerked off on broomsticks and stuff like this. And then that created the literal evil modern witch that we have today. And we were like, wow, that's a really good story. And we were beating it out, and we were like, outlining it. And we got pretty far along. And then we sort of realized that that's not a consensus historical view. It's like sort of one historian puts that forward, and no one is like, that's wrong, but it's not a, I would almost say it's a fringe viewpoint, but it wasn't really corroborated by a lot of other historians. And we ended up feeling like it didn't really have enough legs to stand on. And so then we had an alternate pitch to go do the War of the Worlds story instead. And so that did happen. There were other times that it happened too, but that's the one that's most salient to me.
You didn't have 2 sources.
Didn't have 2 sources. We only had 1 source. Exactly. There's only 1 source for this. It was like one person wrote a book in like 1982 that made this claim. And we were like, it's very interesting. I think there's a lot of truth to it, but I don't want to be saying it definitively on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a name for this duck.
All right. I'm excited.
Here we go.
So
talk us through your process,
I will. I'll talk you through this process. So according to this Wikipedia page, it says he is the cowardly craven duck of U.S. acres. Okay? What if they called him Scaredy Duck? Like Scaredy Cat, but he's a duck. It feels like a fun cartoon name.
So it's a pun if you do any animal other than cat.
Right. That's the problem. Right. It's
Yeah.
very not.
Let us do. Patrick, I like that. It felt like secret ballot. Like you take yourself off.
You leave first. We haven't voted yet. We need to talk through the vote. Okay, Adam, you were saying.
It doesn't have any kind of like ring to it. It doesn't sound like it doesn't make me think of Scaredy Cat. And then even if I do think of it, it doesn't. Oh wait, Melschneff. That's it.
Good.
Solved it.
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Patrick had so much time to come.
I
And
know.
what is George sitting right in front of?
What's George wearing? George, turn around.
Whoa!
And there's a pig behind you.
Yeah.
There's some synchronicity up in this episode. I can't even begin.
Wait, who's the pig? Jeffrey Jones?
Oh no, you have the shirt from Beverly Hills Cop 3 behind you.
The shirt? Oh yeah,
on your chair.
Yeah, that pig. Yeah, I have that pig, and I'm wearing a Howard the Duck, Howard and the Heartbreakers T-shirt.
Wow. Okay, so how do we think we're going?
Patrick.
Have we settled on a vote? Oh boy, look, he's taking a little nap. What a surprise!
Hey, can I ask something? Is it okay if I ask something?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because in the green room, we all said we were going to talk about Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this shirt. The shirt I'm wearing. This is from
That really
our
takes
friend,
the heat off Patrick. Yeah.
our friend Bring the Noise made this shirt for me. I haven't seen Ted Lasso, sad face. So let's talk about Ted Lasso.
Let's talk Ted.
Well, I want to hear Jen. I want to hear what Jen has to say first because she said she had a strong opinion about Ted
we
Lasso.
want to put out the word to everybody out there. If you can pull any strings, Watto and I would like to become Ted Lasso influencers. We want to get that tea mug and the biscuits and things sent to us. All we got sent was the
swag
postcard and these screeners. Oh wow, look at that.
Why my suit from the Crystal Maze? Why that suit?
It's a great question.
I think you should know about the George Lucas talk show is you can suggest anything on the show and you will see fan art of it in 10 minutes or less.
Wow.
That's incredible.
But let's go ahead and let's put the general call out there for a lot more insertions of Adam into the U.S. Acres verse.
Yes.
Sure.
And I mean, Jen, we should ask, would you like to also be inserted into the U.S. Acres universe? Would you rather be inserted into mainline Garfield plots?
Yeah, I think more mainline Garfield plots or maybe like a War of the Worlds thing or something, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I want to be inserted into the Paul Masson ad.
Oh,
I'd love to see if anyone wants to draw in a more photorealistic illustrated style a scene where it's Adam interacting with like a reboot where it's not in the Jim Henson style, but it's like actual barnyard animals. Because I feel like that would be the modern, like if you're going to make a U.S. Acres movie now, which I think could happen. We could have Adam be the human participant in the movie. And you'd probably use more Babe style CGI animatronic animation, so it wouldn't be Space Jam in it with the U.S. Acres gang. It would be more like they look like real animals.
That's horrible.
Is that a no? You're turning down the offer.
Bring back cell animation.
Here's Battle Racket.
Fantastic.
This is from Goldie Thrawn.
This movie needs to be made.
Jen, you got the and. Good job.
I can't believe Patrick's first build, though. That's wild.
That is wild.
How the hell? Because it's not alphabetical.
No, it's not.
No.
Wow.
So wait, Jen,
It also feels like that would, in the era of like straight to video sequels where they don't have any of the original cast, it feels like continuing the Bottle Rocket franchise in a like the sequels to Darkman and things like that.
I want to hear Jen's Ted Lasso thoughts.
Well, it's not so much a take on Ted Lasso as it's a take on the hysteria around it. Like, listen, I have written on many shows and some of them I genuinely liked and some I didn't, and I get people like what they like, and so I'm just kind of that person where you can tell me I should and I need to all you want, but if it doesn't grab me like on a gut level right at first, everything I've ever loved, I never had to watch 4 episodes of it and then get into it. Like, I'm not interested in sports. I get that everything's an analogy. People go, no, but it's really about love. Then I'll watch a show about love where people are doing activities I also like to look at. I just don't like Jason Sudeikis's. You ever have those actors that you just like, I don't like you. And I'm sure I just don't, I can't. I watched one episode and I was like, honestly, I just don't care. And everyone goes, no, wait till the 4th. And I went, for me, if I think I might like something, then I'll wait till the 4th. If I think it's just not for me, but I get, I'm sure it's wonderful.
Not everything needs to be for,
You cannot say this online. No. And then someone's like, there's a think piece I want you to read about what you're not getting. I'm like, oh, I'm getting things. I just don't feel like I like it. Why can't I just not like something? I'm not even saying it's bad. If you like it, I love it. I like really bad stuff too. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, that's just my take is people need to let other people like what they like or not like what they like.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my take. That's not really about the show, but
I want to hear this rebuttal from Adam. Maybe not a rebuttal, but a continuation.
No, Adam, rebuttal.
No, Patrick has demanded that you offer a rebuttal. You have to disagree with everything Jen just said.
No, not at
Point
all.
for
No, I'm not going to do that.
Uh-huh.
No, I got to the end of the show. I watched the first episode of the show. I was like, what the fuck is this show?
Right.
Why? There's no explanation for why an American football coach going to coach a British soccer team is a particularly interesting idea for a fish out of water story. It's like, well, what if a farmer had to become a cook? I don't know.
Hold on,
why
hold
these?
on.
Wait a second.
That sounds
We have a show.
And it's called Farm to Table. That's a great show.
Okay.
But you just ruined your own argument because you said, "Oh, what this is like," and then you named what I think might be next year's Emmy for what is it? A comedy or a drama?
It's a dramedy. It's a 1 hour.
Dramedy.
Jen's coming in and punching
a real
this thing
show.
up. This is
Farm
a
to
package.
Table.
Wow.
A farmer who his farm, because there's lots of reasons a farm can go out of business, and the only job he can get is as a cook.
This is a real show?
Yeah, you just
Now
created
it
it, Adam.
is.
This is created by Adam Conover.
Okay.
Congrats
I'm
on the
here.
Go with
the
me here on this
residuals.
show.
Yeah.
There's two ways to do it. We do it as a 1 hour dramedy, or we go animated, and it's very George Orwell ish, where the animals that he's no longer farming are talking about, being. I mean, it's.
There's
Like-
no reason not to
So-
do every
so-
version of this
and-
show. Let's go ahead and
Hang on,
announce the slate.
hang on.
Yeah.
Animal farm to table.
Yeah, great, Patrick. We'll get titles in a second, but don't get in the way of the big picture here, which is that we're going to announce 11 new shows, all based on the concept of a farmer who has to become a cook. Because I like there's at least one version of this show. Because the one version where it's the only job he can get, he becomes a cook. But another one where it's like he's like being forced to become a cook. Why would that be? I mean, it almost doesn't matter, but we got to think of it.
We have time. We have time.
But
See,
we have
Jen,
11
you
shows.
were thinking,
animated.
you were thinking
George
too
Orwell.
small. Right. It's not, it should be this or that. Let's think vertical.
Yeah.
I'm down to break this and pitch this. I think we can. I mean, it's the title is great, and all you need is a good title.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And here's a little trick in the industry. I know we all know this, but if we're like, oh well, gosh, we can't do other, we've run out of ideas for other shows. Adam, name an American city, large or small.
Minneapolis.
Farm to table, Minneapolis. All you have to do to create a second or third or fourth, or really the only way you would ever need to say, I can't think of any more versions of this show, is if you ran out of locations that have distinct names in the world.
Yeah.
So really, if we run out of unique ideas, we'll just start doing different towns in America, big or small, because having to be a cook in a small town, very different than having to be a chef in a major American city.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very different.
Think of
Very
Europe,
different.
all the great chefs of Europe, and one of them's an ex-farmer.
An American, no less. I mean, come on.
You got yourself a
Patrick, can you
I'm
do me a favor?
I'm really sorry that in my attempt to roast Ted Lasso, I came up with a perfect television concept.
Perfect show.
But
I mean, in that way, it is the ultimate roast of Ted Lasso because you just one up Ted Lasso in 5 seconds.
extremely easily, and
Yeah.
also you can imagine why you, George, you're already coming up with reasons that the farmer would have to become the cook. Here's the problem with Ted Lasso: they never do that. They never come up with a very good reason why
I got an idea
he
for
goes
one.
over.
I got an idea for one. All right. And it veers from the concept a little bit. We lose some of him becoming a cook, but I think this is a good idea for a show. The farmer, he's working maybe we can still keep it. He's forced to be a cook in a restaurant. They do their online booking through Open Table. They do it through where a lot of the reservations are made via computer. There is an electrical storm. He's working late one night. He's closing up. He's cleaning the kitchen. He's closing up, and he realizes that the main computer, the computer station's been left on. He goes to shut it down. He's not very computer savvy, so he's like, "Where do I turn this off?" And as he's pressing the button, there is a lightning surge. He is transported inside the computer. The name of the show is
plotty.
The name of the show is The Farmer in the Dell.
Unreal. That's the origin story. So it's sort of like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Oh
you know,
my
like this is the
God.
Better Call Saul.
And then the show is that the people come back into work in the restaurant, and he's trapped in their computer system. I mean, there's Space Jam too. But I don't think that's a problem because we'll do it differently.
This is an honor to just be part of watching your brain work.
I mean, there's
the thing is,
now,
sense to me.
can I ask Adam though? Did you make it past the pilot, or
Make
did
it
you
past the what?
Ted
the
Lasso.
pilot of Ted?
Yes, of Ted
so
Lasso.
did you end up
Yes,
liking
I watched
it?
the whole series. I watched a whole series, and I started the show, and I was like, "What the fuck is this show?" And then around episode 3, I was like, "You know what? I kind of want to see." I would turn from a hate watch into a regular watch, you know. And then by the end, I was hate watching again because
I've never heard that.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a very specific beef with this show. And it's not the fact that this show about soccer contains no soccer in it. There's like maybe 30 seconds of people playing soccer, which is a problem. Because I was ready to watch some fun soccer scenes, you know, don't exist in the show. They
Adam,
like
I think
literally.
you mean, Adam, I think you mean football.
You know, in the U.S., we do call it soccer.
Wow, this is like the pilot to Ted Lasso.
I'm just trying to fact check. I just want to be the fact checker, you know?
Yeah, more like Patrick ruins everything.
Here's my problem with this show, okay? In the entire history of television writing, in sitcom writing, when a character makes a joke, the other characters don't laugh, correct? The show just continues because the joke is for us, the audience, right? It's not like every time Tina Fey says a joke on 30 Rock or Sam Malone says a joke on Cheers, like the other people go, ha, 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 good joke. But that happens. I was like, what is bothering me about this show? And that is the problem. Every time someone tells a joke, it happens in the world of the show. And the other characters go, ha, 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 good one. You're funny. He's funny. They do that every time there's a joke. And the other thing that they do when they don't do that, here's what they do. Someone tells a joke. They go, here's a joke. Ah, that wasn't very good, was it? Oh boy, kind of a dad joke. Like they do that kind of thing.
Right.
Like Jen, you're a stand-up comic. You do that when a joke fails, and then you've got your bailout, right? They have written bad jokes that Ted Lasso then bails out of. It's fucking bizarre. It completely ruins the rhythm.
Your beef is
why is no one talking about this? This sounds very annoying.
It's terrible.
Adam, your beef with the show is that it's too realistic.
It's a comedy.
But you're saying in real life, that's what happens. Good jokes, bad jokes, people like. They laugh at them or they don't.
But they don't go, ha, 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 good joke. You're funny. He's funny, which they do every time.
And someone who makes a dad joke doesn't usually like own up to it. There's a lack of self-awareness usually in that kind of person. Now I'm going to watch this series because now I'm curious and I'm going to see if I fall in love with it. And if so, then I'll write a piece for the Daily Beast or something.
But wait, now that you're saying this,
isn't it far end of The Office, right? Like Michael Scott used to do that on The Office and it worked fine. He would do something that was annoying and the other characters would roll their eyes and that was cringe comedy. And it's done very effectively by Steve Carell, who for some reason never won an Emmy for his wonderful portrayal of Michael Scott. But it's like it's 20 years later, and this is not a docu. It's not a mocu whatever the fuck. It's a single camera sitcom. It's 30 Rock, except they're all hearing the jokes. It's bizarre. That would be like, okay, George, that would be like if in one of your Star Wars movies, the characters looked at the CGI characters and they said, wow, great special effects. That's what this is.
I would say thank you very much. I appreciate that. I
do want to point out, hang on, George. I do want to point out that people in the comments are genuinely getting mad at this, and I think that's very funny.
I'll say this. I have two reactions. One is I can tell you from my own personal experience, whether it was my producer, Rick McCallum, or the entire writer's room for Robot Chicken. When I have made jokes, I have very often heard people say, ha, 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 that's funny. You're funny.
I like that.
Okay. This is the thing. I like that. I like that joke that you said. I've heard it for decades. When I've made a joke, everybody in the room laughs. They say, ha, ha, ha. That's funny. You're very funny. Not so much the other. I have not heard people say, "Oh, that one didn't work," or "That's not a good joke."
You think they might be doing that to you because of your power, George?
No. Because sometimes, Adam, sometimes they don't even laugh. Sometimes they just say it. Sometimes their face looks very blank, like they don't look amused, and they go out of their way to say, "George, that is very funny. I like that. I like you. I think you're funny."
I'll also say this, Adam. Now, let me ask this. Adam Ruins Everything, series finale. You did 63 episodes, yes?
I think we did 65 total, but yeah,
all right,
like
I stand corrected. 65. Were you looking to do additional seasons, or were you interested in moving on to other? Do you consider it a complete work?
I consider it a complete work. Yeah, we ended. We were about ready to end, and it was not like oh no, we got canceled. It was time for everybody to move on to new adventures.
Would you consider doing a one-time Adam Ruins Ted Lasso special?
Guys, breaking news posted this minute. Jason Sudeikis won a SAG Award for Best Actor. He posted less than a minute ago.
He showed us.
As I was speaking. He's doing it right there. He's going, that's very funny. You're very funny. That's great. Oh, funny one. Over here, watch this one. You'll get you. He's doing that right in that photo.
But Adam, he has range because sometimes he says that the thing isn't funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Adam, did you do an episode about batteries?
What'd you say?
Did you do an episode about batteries?
No.
Oh, interesting. So the title of your show, what was it again?
I really don't know where this is going. I don't know if I like it.
I want to make sure I have the title correct. I want to make sure I have the title correct. It's Adam Ruins what?
Am I in court? It's Adam Ruins Everything.
Okay, all right. Would you consider when you say the word everything, do you think that includes batteries?
And from the guy who said that he felt like the show was complete.
Your words. You said you got your full 65 and that was everything.
Everything that matters you tackled. Nothing left on the board is worth your time of day.
But you never ruined batteries. Now batteries, I think there'd be a lot to ruin about batteries.
Yeah. For one, they're not included.
Yeah, they're not included, Adam.
These fucking things aren't included, Adam.
Oh my goodness. Is this the tree that you were getting your ideas from? Because there's so much low-hanging fruit. Is this the show tree? Batteries.
George, why are you doing this to me?
Because of what you did to Ted. You upset a lot of our audience. You genuinely upset them. People were demanding that I come for you.
The person who this shirt says, I have to turn off this show.
I'm just saying, Adam.
Okay, I mean, you got me.
Are you gonna do Adam Ruins Batteries? I don't care if you do it as a podcast. I don't care if you do it as a Twitter thread or an Insta story or a TikTok. Like you've got to start. You've made a promise, and just because the cable version is done doesn't mean your work is done.
So I have to now for the rest of my life, because the name of the show is Adam Ruins Everything. Anytime someone has a noun that I haven't done yet, don't act like
I did this to you, Adam. Adam, do not act like I did this to you. You called your show.
Name this show.
Maybe you need to somehow retrofit an asterisk in front of the word everything, and then underneath it write, well, not everything. Just to be like, because you don't want to get canceled in 10 years for this, the way that like when people do blackface and it comes up, like this could be big.
Maybe it could be like stuff my Adam ruins.
Right. You also, because you can't 10 years from now use the defense like, well, like everything meant something different back then.
Yeah, we have this on tape.
Yeah. Well, there's a legal defense called puffery. Have you heard of puffery?
Did you ruin it? Did you ruin puffery?
No, I haven't.
Jesus,
he's invoking
Adam!
Puffery is a legal defense that says in advertising, if you make a sort of such an elevated, such a large claim that no one could ever truly believe it, you're not held to it. So, for instance, if you were to see a restaurant that said best pizza in New York City, and you were to say the pizza is not truly the best in New York City, I sue them. The judge would say this is puffery. This is not like a real statement. This is hyperbole. It's another way of saying hyperbole isn't legal. And so Adam Ruins Everything, I would think, falls into the same category.
I would suggest if you wanted to nip it in the bud, you could do one more episode in which you ruin the concept of everything by explaining that you didn't really, it was just puffery and you didn't mean everything.
I like it.
You could ruin, and you'll never convince me. I don't know what's your dog's name, Adam?
This is Annie. Annie, come here.
Annie.
Like Anakin Skywalker.
Named after Anakin Skywalker. I would not have taken you for a prequel boy.
Well, it's spelled Annie. It's a different kind of Annie.
But the spelling for Annie as an Anakin is contained within the spelling of that.
True.
You'll never convince me. You'll never convince me that you didn't have that dog on some sort of like that you had a little gate that you lifted up that was ready to go as soon as you started getting into real trouble on this show.
she was asleep and she woke up.
Okay, here we go.
Is there anything? Wait, Jen, let's act this out, Jen. You ready?
Okay.
Is there anything better than fine dining and fascinating conversation? Huh? Is there?
How should I know?
I hate to say this. I hate John Arbuckle so much.
I do too. Now, right off the back of that, can I say something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Patrick is really good casting as John Arbuckle.
I do too.
I had that statement ready in the wings to say it. I wasn't just going off of George's joke, but even just looking at that strip, I'm like, Patrick would make a good live action John Arbuckle.
Very natural. Yeah.
Thank you.
This looks like if U.S. Acres was in The Believer.
That's what it looks like. Did this person trace my face? Is this this is a tracing of my headshot? I mean,
this is Sarah Club.
I think this is a face trait. But no, you're right, George. This looks like U.S. Acres in conversation with Sarah Valley.
Whoa! Look at this.
Whoa!
That's really good. I like that a lot.
That's great.
Also, yet another thing you didn't ruin on your show.
Yes. In fact, so far on this show, you've only praised it.
Yeah. Wow. I don't ruin things that are not ruinable, that are great and wonderful, like U.S. Acres.
Mm-hmm. Wow, was that title considered too long? I like imagining the original pitch document was just Adam doesn't ruin things that are really great, like U.S. Acres, and they're like, "How about if you ruin everything?" And like, all right, it's a lie, but I'll do it.
Such a hard time.
Well, because you're Adam, it's because you're a veteran of the show. We know that you come to play. You wouldn't have brought your Ted Lasso game.
Jen, I have a question, Jen.
Yeah, Jen.
Yes, sir.
What do you think Molly's up to in 2021 from Modern Family?
Oh boy, here we go. And I just want to remind people that he did interrupt George mid-sentence to say this.
I waited.
I can't wait to hear this answer, Jen.
On Modern Family, my character, she was trying to get pregnant with her wife. They were looking for a donor.
Sure.
And I think she ended up getting the sperm of a billionaire who had sort of one of those doomsday bunkers in New Zealand. I think she got really freaked out by COVID, decided it was not a good time to get pregnant. Mm-hmm. And I think she went to, she realized she was gender fluid. I think she moved to New Zealand with this billionaire, left her wife. And I think that's where she is. I think she's really hated in her friend circles. Like, she's got nothing but this guy and the freedom of being in New Zealand during this pandemic. So yeah, that's kind of where I see her right now. Okay. Yeah,
she lucked out. She got there right in time. Good.
Patrick, Sline McAwesome in the chat wants you to ask what Adam from Adam Ruins Everything is doing in 2021. But I know the answer. He's going into the chat to offer more criticisms of Ted Lasso. He is on camera now, getting into it on main.
I saw that and I was like, wait, is that really? It's not, right?
Yeah,
No,
I'm typing in the chat.
The hubris of someone who you've already ruined. I mean, this essentially, this episode stands as a de facto Adam ruins Ted Lasso. You've done it. You upset many people. You need to linger,
ruined,
move on to the next thing. You've got a lot left to cover.
Did you ever cover atoms, like the atom bomb?
Ooh.
I've not done atoms. No, I've not done atoms.
Adam
yet.
ruins atoms. Just
Adam ruins.
Again, this is just a separate docu. I've come up with a lot of shows tonight, and I'm looking to get.
You're giving them away. You're giving them away.
No, I'll have my lawyer contact everyone after the show.
Okay, cool. Yeah, have them talk to our lawyer.
Yeah. Jen, I have to check my glasses here. For a moment, I feel like you're the one who's working on a farm.
What do you mean?
Because
Like
we might
wallpaper?
need to put you in
Down?
an overall deal.
Oh, stop!
Got to put you in a pair of overalls here at the George Lucas talk show. That's a George joke. I stole that from George. George has made that joke before.
Did I? I have no memory of it. One of them.
Don't
You
remember
did.
that either one.
Yes, we put a couple
George
people
Lucas.
on overall deals on this show.
I gotta be serious. I'm scared of George Lucas. I would be scared.
Why?
Let's get into
Well,
it.
I don't know. I think I do research about people that I don't know a ton about if I'm going to go on their shows, and I saw this thing in this article that you had said that you think America would be better off with a kind of despot leader, and you thought communist Russia was like a really good template. And so I'm just like, I don't want to really work with someone like that. And like, why did you say that? You weren't kidding either.
No,
it was just like a red carpet interview where you just started going off.
No, I was
we'll
just
do that. I know.
speculating. I was just saying that you could get a lot more done. You're able to get a lot more done. That democracy is actually a very messy process, and you get a lot more gridlock. And that in some ways, the American temperament. I mean, this is something that I explored more in my 3-part documentary series that I produced for PBS, Manifest Destiny. Why am
I heard that was recently ranked the best Lucasfilm project.
Yeah, who knows? No, about a decade or so ago, it wasn't fully my film. I was just an executive producer on it, but it's about like how damaging American foreign policy is. So I have a lot of thoughts and ideas, but it's not my way or the highway. Obviously, I don't have. There's earlier this week, I believe Seth Rogen has a book coming out that talks about how, like in 2012, I was talking about how all of California. West of the San Andreas was about to fall into the ocean, and that the world was about to end.
Yeah.
But
Seth
George,
Rogen's book?
Yeah, you shouldn't share that story. I mean, come on, that's Seth's story. If he wants to share that story, he should come on the show himself.
Great. But I just have a lot of theories and ideas, but you wouldn't want to work with me?
Well, I don't want to work for usually people who want that act that way. Like I'd be afraid of you being tyrannical, and if I had some ideas about any of the shows we've come up with,
right,
I'd be afraid.
What if you had points on the back end? I'm notoriously generous with money.
I don't know. I get a PTSD feeling because I worked in a lot of .coms in the late 90s, and I got a lot of promises of stock options, and that didn't do anything because everything went bust. So I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
You should ask George what he's done with his money since he retired, because I feel like that might, or you know what, I'll just ask George. Can you tell Jen what you've done with your money?
No, hey, wait a second. Let Jen ask him. Don't deprive her of the opportunity to ask George Lucas what he's done with his money.
George, what have you done with your money since you retired?
Mostly
Good question, Jen.
Education.
What kind of education?
Like young people, who need to learn things. Education programs, public radio. Building my museum, the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art.
George, when she asked you what kind of education, and you said young people who need to learn things, I don't think Jen was asking what is education as an abstract concept.
Schools and scholarships and art scholarships for young people and for communities that need help.
Okay, that's nice.
Affordable housing. You bought land to try to build affordable housing.
Listen, you sound like a great, generous guy. I'm just saying.
You don't want to work with me.
I'm saying I would have some reservations. I didn't say I don't. It's more just like I lay awake at night, be a little nervous for my first day.
Well, Jen,
you know who else
like
had reservations? The
Who?
U.S. government, a democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're not so great.
Yeah, and you know who didn't have reservations?
No.
Catherine Zeta-Jones. No reservations. It topped out at like 35 domestic. It was not the big hit.
Look at this.
It was no Farmer in the Dell.
It was not.
What is this?
$4 billion to education.
That's amazing.
And what is that? And what does that mean when you donate $4 billion to education?
That's what I'm saying.
To the
If
U.S.
he-
public school system?
He threw them $4 billion. He said, "Go learn some shit."
Or are you buying a lot of kids iPads on donors choose? You know,
iPads on donors' shoes? What sort of beat poetry are you talking at, man?
you know the website donors choose.
Oh, I thought you said donors' shoes. Like iPads on donors' shoes. And I was imagining what? So the children would
donors.
crawl around and makes no sense.
George, you're coming in real hot whenever Adam asks the question.
George is very hostile to me whenever I come on this show.
Yeah, it was a very reasonable question that he asked, George, and you
Patrick, shame on you for attacking me this way. Adam doesn't need to witness that.
Adam doesn't need to witness this.
He doesn't
Adam is
deserve that.
joining the Third Timers Club, okay? We're giving him a little bit of a like, hey, come on.
Yeah.
You're in the
say
Third Timers Club.
We
Well,
did
he's
get
mean
some
to me on the
fan
second
art.
time too.
All
We
right,
got some fan art for Howard the Duck. I want to bring it up. This is from Horde Jedi. This is from Howard the Duck. This is the duck.
Wait, why does
Super amazing.
wait? Does
Yeah,
Howard the
yeah.
Duck have a woman? Does Howard the Duck
Well,
have breasts?
This is
No.
a female duck that you see in the
Female duck.
beginning of the movie.
Yeah, in the beginning of the movie, he crashes
Okay.
through the wall and ends up in the bathroom with a lady duck who has duck tits.
It occurs to me. I mean, this makes me realize I've actually never seen Howard the Duck, and I'm suddenly wondering, like, it's not the movie I thought it was.
You should watch
Kind of
Howard the Duck,
dirty,
Adam.
right? I
Yeah.
remember to think it's kind of raunchy.
Yeah.
Adam, you like Leah Thompson?
From Caroline in the City.
Yeah,
Back
watch
to the
what you
Future.
say here.
Back to the Future.
She's a
Yeah.
good friend.
They
Watch
stand-
what you say here, Adam.
You like Tim Robbins?
Oh yeah, yes.
I think you should watch Howard the Duck. I think it's
They're-
on.
oh, so
what's
they're
it
in the
on?
movie.
It's on- What's
This
this?
is one of the
George?
things I did. I donated $1 million to help build the Martin Luther King Jr. National Memorial.
Not
like that,
that's
Adam?
not very much.
$1 million, George, in the grand scheme is not a lot.
$1 million.
It's like
is not
$100
much.
for
Probably costs like
non-millionaires.
multi-million.
Sounds
Donates
good.
to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Make a
Fuck
Wish
you,
is like
George.
barely a foundation.
Look at that pose. George, hold that up. Wait, go back to the last one.
Look, I donated land to create Imagination Park.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
statue
no.
of Indiana Jones and a statue of Yoda. I donated the land of the city.
George, go back to the last one, the Make-A-Wish one. This pose here. Just one hand in the pocket and the world's weakest
Because I got
way.
one hand in my pocket, and the other one saying, "Okay, enough." I gave to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
It looks like one of those, when people do those kind of like subtle signs that are usually like white power. It looks like you're doing something, like
No,
giving a
I'm not.
signal.
I'm absolutely not. Oh, sorry. That's
Oh, no, George!
What did that one say, George?
Nothing.
Nothing.
George,
Nothing.
George, show them the museum.
Hold on, I'll show the museum. Hold on. I gotta
You
find
guys
more
know-
about me.
You guys know that there's a museum being built in your city that George is paying for?
In Los Angeles. I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Los
Is
Angeles.
that part what is that what the part of the $4 billion for education is?
Nope. Different.
Different.
Okay.
Nope.
'Cause let me
Different.
let's just be clear about something. A lot of times when billionaires get these headlines, this thing.
This
Yeah.
thing. What's George showing? Yeah, we're showing that, George.
Yeah, but it doesn't say $1 billion nonprofit museum.
Doesn't say that, does it?
Wow. Great philanthropy donating to the fucking, like, your fucking mausoleum, your tomb, a monument to your glory.
No,
wow.
No.
Gonna take up 4 blocks. We could build some fucking housing. Donate to build some housing there, George, instead of a Star Wars fucking museum, you
Put everyone in Echo
empire
Park
building
in
piece
that.
of shit.
Adam, it's not a Star Wars museum. It's predominantly a Norman Rockwell museum.
Norman Rockwell? Isn't there already a Norman
the
Rockwell
biggest
museum
collection?
Also, I do have some news that this week. Art, you ever go to a website called ArtNet News, Adam?
No.
Because look what we acquired this week. Does this look like Star Wars to you?
What does it say?
It's Judy Baca's Great Wall, one of the biggest murals in the world.
Who's Judy Baca?
Judith F. Baca, and the F stands for fucking learn about art, Adam.
It's Chewy's sister, George? George, is she Chewy's sister?
Don't make jokes, Patrick. This isn't all comedy.
Judy Baca is not related to Chewy Baca.
We heard the joke, and he gave it a mild chuckle. MoveOn.org.
It's a good joke, but Patrick, this isn't joke week.
It's not joke week.
Look at this.
What the fuck is this? Oh God. This is a photo of me from my college sketch comedy group. I'm like 21 years old in this photo. And this is the live action cast of the live action CGI USA.
It really does look like a good show.
Did anyone do one of Farm to Table?
Farm to Table art.
I think people are way too intimidated by that because it's like,
well, yeah.
Oh,
here's
a good one. Adam ruins everything. Asterisk, not actually everything you know about that movie. That's from Charlie. We had one more. What was the other one? I don't know. Oh, that page doesn't exist. Never mind.
Oh, what?
Wow.
I'm not gonna look at it. It doesn't exist.
Was that the other link I sent you? Oh no. You should look.
Yeah. But Jen, Adam, just trust me that I give a lot of good money to good education, helping students go to school, get higher education. It's good stuff. The Lucas Family Foundation. What do you use when you're trying to vet how good an organization is?
I look to see if there's the name of a famous billionaire on it, and if there is, I think it's not a very good because here's the thing, George.
Yeah.
George. Yeah. The billionaires such as yourself and Mark Zuckerberg, they get the headlines. George Lucas donating his $4 billion to education. Mark Zuckerberg donating his entire fortune. But what they donated to is a nonprofit that they and their children will control in perpetuity. So, for instance, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, when Mark Zuckerberg dies, that'll be controlled by his children. It's a way of maintaining power generationally. All right. You're not
generational wealth away. Yeah.
And so you've got a $4 billion foundation, and you're probably giving away what? $50 million a year, $100 million a year, something like that. You're keeping the rest, letting it earn interest, so that this foundation will have your name on it and be able to exert power in your wishes in perpetuity. And I don't think that is that fucking charitable, George. That's my personal opinion. I also happen to have done an episode of television about it.
I saw it, Adam. I get True TV just like every other sucker. I watched your show in between episodes of those irascible pranksters. What are they called?
The irascible pranksters.
Yeah, the spaghetti carbonara effect.
Who are they called? What's the thing? The
I think we should call them the irascible pranksters from here on out. I think that's officially their name.
I was told by a True TV executive once to try to come up with a sketch show that was similar to whatever sketch show we're talking about, because positive spirited sketches are in. And I was like, but I don't do that. Like, that's not what I'm good at. And they're like, well, that's just what we're looking for. And I was like, but you already have a show like that. And they're like, we need more of that. But I don't think one ever happened.
Would you like to work on a positive sketch show? Does that sound fun?
No, neither positive or negative. Not sketch, prank. That's what I meant to say.
Have you ever been a
positive
part of a prank show? I feel like
No,
there's a
not
lot of
on TV.
comedians in like the mid 2000s would do like
Yeah.
some MTV prank show at some point.
I'm way too shy. Like the thought of
Yeah.
like man on the street, like go up to people and see what they say. Like, oh God, I can't even do it. Like I'm not good with pranking or
Yeah.
being pranked. I think I would be so gullible that it would just, you'd be sad for me. Like I wouldn't give the reaction that people would want. I don't like pranks. Yeah, no, I
How
can't
about
even
this?
think.
How about I have a pitch for if I was going to do a positive prank show. I would just it would be me, and I would take $1 million cash, and I would just leave it in the office of like various universities that are maybe falling on hard times, maybe like that they need funding, like community colleges, and then we just sit back with a hidden camera as they come and find the $1 million.
And then what? You bust them and be like, you just stole $1 million. You're going to jail.
No, I'd be like, no, here's the paperwork. It's your money now. I'm helping.
Sure.
We could do it at hospitals. Do you like that better, Adam? If it's just for like the staff of a hospital?
To do what? Give them $1 million?
You just leave $1 million in an emergency room. And then like someone's waiting. It's just like on one of the chairs and someone's like, oh, my brother was in a car wreck. I don't know how we're going to pay for this. And then they look at the next chair. There's $1 million cash. And then I come in and I'm like, that's your money now. Sign these papers. And hopefully your brother's okay.
What if you find out that person's super rich and he just means he's kind of cash poor right now, but he's also a billionaire, and the person next to them actually needed the money? I mean, do you vet these people?
Yeah, we vet them, so that would never happen. It's a quality prank show. We're not going to be that ruins the whole brand of the show if I accidentally give what's this? Oh wow. All right.
Star Wars Scare the Moisture Farm to Table Minneapolis Cybercrimes Unit Food Truck Edition with Guy Fieri as Farmer Orson Welles in the Dell.
There you go.
It's a little overloaded.
You think it's busy?
It's a little busy.
A little busy.
It's a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat is what we call it.
A pile of hats.
Yeah.
It's a hat rack.
I dropped my fidget spinner.
Are you pitching me something, Adam?
What?
Is that a pitch?
No, I just dropped my fidget spinner.
No.
Oh,
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Sounds like a positive prank show.
Right. Let's explore this. Let's explore this. There might be something here.
Yeah, you play a guy who you drop your fidget spinner and you ask people to help. Can you hand me that? And everyone who does it, you give them $1 million.
That's a pretty positive prank.
Mm-hmm.
Adam,
and the thing is, we would work hard to make sure, because I know like a lot of times lottery winners, their lives are ruined by the money. We would actually, part of what the show would help do is make sure their lives aren't ruined, because we want the winners of the show to have a good life after it. So we would
would you take the money away again? How would you do that?
Wow, you just can't get out of that brand, can you, Adam? No, we wouldn't take the money away.
Well, because studies show that someone with 50,000 is just as happy as someone with a lot of money. So maybe you should take the money away and show.
Who told you that? Someone with $50,000?
I read it. It was a study. I don't remember where I read it.
I never go on Reddit.
Give it to other people. Spread it around.
I think
we don't need one person to become rich. Everyone should
This is our main character from Farm to Table. This is from Bring the Noise. He's wearing his overalls and he's got his chef hat on.
Great costume.
Yeah, it's got a good look. Adam, does it get tiring people tweeting at you saying you ruined everything after you tweet something or after you post something?
No, not at all. Not at all. My belief is if you coin a catchphrase and people like it enough that they repeat it back to you, you have to take it as a gift every time. You have to say thank you for enjoying the thing that I made, and you can't be like, oh, I've heard that a lot. Well, they fucking haven't. They're not you. That's ridiculous.
Do you have another catchphrase that you want to be the next ruins everything that people say to you?
Yeah. Let's try it out. Let's give it a little floor run.
Let's get one for Jen as well.
Yeah. Well, here's something I'd love to be a catchphrase. This is one of my favorite catchphrases. Your funeral. I love that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like tell me you're gonna do something. Like tell me what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna buy a motorcycle with wings.
your funeral.
Oh, that hit hard because people do die from that.
Yeah.
No, I said it has wings, so you can't. It flies away.
It's more dangerous.
It flies away at almost the point of impact.
A motorcycle built like that is more dangerous. The death would be so much worse.
Almost the point of impact. Not the point of impact, just like right before the point of impact.
That's right. And you fly away. I mean, I don't get why this is not a good idea. But
tell you, people in the chat are already saying your funeral.
Look, Adam, this is dangerous. If we have people saying your funeral over and over again, we're never going to get anything done because Patrick finds death so funny that when he hears of someone dying, he loses all sense of his job at hand. If this becomes a catchphrase, if it's like Urkel running through the door saying your funeral over and over again, I'm gonna have to find a new producer.
You can.
Jen, what would your catchphrase be?
What if you owned a funeral parlor called Your Funeral?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Look how hard Patrick is laughing.
I've been so bad with ever coming up with catchphrases. Like, it'd be fun to be like that, like older comedian that like doesn't understand what the kids are doing, and she's just like, "Who raised you?" Like something like that, you know? Who raised you? You can say
that'd be a good title for a seance show too.
I mean, look, this is a good premise. It's called Who Raised You? And it is an old-fashioned analog spiritual medium who does not understand these newfangled techniques for communicating with the dead.
They're a good show.
Who raised you?
Yeah. I mean, I stole Matthew McConaughey's catchphrase as the name of one of my comedy specials, so I'm not very original.
And and I watched a few days ago your Colbert set. You have a tattoo of it too.
I did tattoo JKL on my ankle. Wow. And then the worst part is after I did, somebody goes, Jimmy Kimmel Live? And I'm like, oh, fuck. No.
Yeah.
And then when people ask me what it means, because you forget when you get a tattoo that people are going to ask that, and you don't be one of those dicks that's like, I put this thing on my body, don't notice it and ask about it, you know. So I just say, oh, it's my mother's initials. And they go, oh, is she dead? I don't know.
Those are also consecutive on the keyboard, JKL.
Yeah.
Totally. And they're my initials.
I've got QWERTY, right?
I mean,
yeah, I'm just ashamed.
If you get tired of it, you could just get the rest of the keyboard on your leg.
MNOP.
Yeah. GH.
If I did the whole alphabet up my leg and down, I might if I'm bored enough.
Oh, boy.
What a day.
Yeah.
What a day. What did you guys do today?
I like how the sun has set on Adam throughout this whole interview.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I'm facing the window. Yeah, you like that? You like this magic hour right now?
Yeah.
I didn't do jack shit today, and I had a lot of plans for myself, but I took a long nap. I didn't intend to.
You did the George Lucas talk show.
I mean, this was a big part of my day.
Well, it's not over.
Ain't nothing.
It's not over.
No. I'm saying it has been.
I took a great nap on the set of Willow. There were some pictures of me. I was sitting in the chair on set, visiting the set, and just fell asleep.
Patrick, get the picture of the Willow nap.
I don't think there's a photo of that, Watto.
Well, then draw a picture of it, Patrick. Watto made a request.
There weren't as many photos going around then.
Yeah, if you can't.
George, were you involved with the NES adaptation of Willow for the Nintendo Entertainment System?
Not tremendously involved. I never got that involved with the game design, but every now and then I would sign off on things.
Famously bad game. I did play as a child.
Says who?
I was just curious.
Says who? You played it?
I did play it.
You have fun?
It's got like some interesting 8-bit pixelated art of like Mad Mardigan.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. That's not the thing that most other games offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you like the movie Willow, Adam?
I don't remember much about it.
There's a part where everyone gets turned into pigs and then immediately turned back from being pigs.
That's that's just swiped right from Greek myth.
Yeah.
From the Odyssey.
What
An
I like
homage to
about
the
it-
Odyssey.
What I like about it is you watch the movie, you think, oh no, all of the characters have been turned into pigs. This is a huge problem. And then they solve it so quickly. It just restores your faith in humanity. You're just like, I thought this was going to be, like, as a viewer, you're watching, you're thinking, I thought this was going to be a big problem. It's not, there's no problem we can't solve.
No.
You know?
Do you think, chat reminded me, do you think after they all turn into pigs in Willow that they, they have a little U.S. Acres, I don't know, like scene? Never mind. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That was a great pitch. That was a great pitch.
It's a good pitch.
I'm getting
it's a
tired.
good pitch. No, it's a good pitch.
Now
We're
getting
going to develop it further.
Jen, did you ever watch Willow?
Is it about, you know what? I just realized this entire time I've been confusing it with Cocoon.
Another Ron Howard.
Another Ron
Yeah,
Howard.
but I don't think I did ever
Wilford
see
Brimley
Willow.
from Ewoks, The Battle for Endor.
Sure, that's what we all think
yeah.
of. No,
you like
Willow,
Cocoon?
the movie. I don't think I saw it. Oh no, it's too sci-fi for me. I just looked it up.
It's fantasy. It's high fantasy. It's from the 80s when George was producing other people's movies set in magical fantasy lands about babies being stolen or people trying to steal babies.
Yeah,
he did that in Labyrinth.
I went through a brief period where I'm like, let's do fantasy movies about baby theft.
There you go.
So it
It's
is kind
George.
of like a thing that's on your mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's get Patrick Staffed on Rick and Morty. Look at that. That looks like it's a Rick and Morty character.
Welcome to the Willow set. And
Doesn't
then
it look
George
like
is sitting in a chair and he's asleep.
We should be able to get you an Adult Swim show, Patrick. I think you're an animator now.
Yeah, okay, sure.
At the very least, we should pitch Adult Swim on live action Garfield minus Garfield starring Patrick.
Yeah. And live action U.S. Acres starring Adam. We could bring back Garfield and Friends, but this time they're not. Tune in for the live action.
George,
tune in for the live action.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Patrick just storyboard all of the tapes that are in the closet and release it as a comic strip?
It would be really nice.
Detours.
It would be great if people would just draw pictures from detours. That would be a good idea, actually, if we could get it out that way.
It would be a good idea. But also, what if we ran detours in the funny pages? We get it out there the old-fashioned way, 3 strips at a time. 3 panels.
Well, we could just change some of the names and people would know it was Han Solo. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could just change some of the names and release it in the funny papers. That would be a really easy way to do it.
I haven't gotten over this. Patrick, it looks like you blew out your hair today. I can't tell if it's like just the length or something, but your hair looks blown out and your hairstyle is now almost identical to that of John Arbuckle.
No, it's just getting long, and then when you brush it, it just goes, it's starting to get a little poofy,
That is the Arbuckle look.
I guess.
You got the Arbuckle energy.
Thank you so much.
I also feel like you have a little, the way it's starting to your hair is starting to shape looks a little bit like if we were going to do like a reboot where it was like young Grandpa Munster.
Thank you so much. Adam, what's it like working with the Obamas?
Like,
how are the Obamas, Adam?
Yeah.
Tell me about the Obamas, Adam.
Yeah.
You finally, after 2 hours of this, you guys ask a real interview question?
Well, we had some things to get through. We had to talk about U.S. Acres. We had to talk about batteries, detours.
The nice?
Yeah, so I'm working on a new show on Netflix. It's produced by Barack and Michelle Obama's production company. It's called The G Word. It's about the U.S. government. And so far, very normal. Have had one conversation with Barack Obama on the phone where he spoke for 45 minutes in an unbroken line. And we said, that was very interesting, sir. Thank you. And he's read one script and he said he liked it. And then that's it. So that's my experience working with the Obama. I work with the people who work for him, and they're nice. And we're making a TV show, and hopefully we're going to be shooting the next couple months.
Are you at all concerned that the title is going to get you sued by Disney Plus?
Why?
Because the G Word famously is Grogu.
Is Grogu?
Yeah.
Is that the name of that Baby Yoda?
That's right.
Oh, is that in the new season? I don't watch
This
the
is
show.
terrifying.
I don't watch the show.
Wow, this is what you're going to be screaming on the stand, on the witness stand.
So people refer to Grogu as the G word.
The G word. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
Yeah.
They say on The Mandalorian, do they say the G word?
Yeah,
This they're going to play this clip from this show in the courtroom.
So wait, hang on, George.
Yeah.
hold up your Grogu. So this is the G word with Adam Conover. That's the full name of the title.
Yeah, that's the name
I
of
just
the
want to
show
get
is
it out there. This is the G word with Adam Conover.
That's the name of the show. Is that what we're doing right now?
Yeah, this is it.
With
George, hide yourself.
What's happening?
Hide yourself. There you go. I just want fan art. I want fan art of this.
Oh, you want fan art of me with
I'm just
Grogu?
trying- Yeah.
What a strange expression.
Just trying to get fan art. I just want fan art.
I thought that was a reenactment of the trial. I didn't know what was happening.
I didn't know what was happening either.
It's really wait. Will it help if I?
Watto, show what's on your.
I have this little guy. Oh, it's out of focus.
Oh,
But
it's
this
a
is me.
little Adam.
Yeah, it's a little Adam. This is from an animated episode, little stop motion animated episode we did.
Grab a toy, Jen.
I am.
There we go. Focus. Oh yeah.
I mean, here's a little Watto.
I
There
just have
you
a
go.
stuffed animal tuxedo cat.
Oh,
yeah.
very fancy.
But I don't have any toys otherwise.
Adam, nice rack.
What? Oh,
Focus.
rack focus. Yeah,
I'm a
I
filmmaker.
got a fancy SLR camera.
Yeah. Depth of field.
Hey, Grogu. All right. I should probably go.
All right.
I've
Adam.
been here 2 hours and Annie, my dog, not Anakin Skywalker, is hungry.
Yeah.
I have to eat dinner. It's 7 here.
Guys, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming on. It's been so nice hanging out with you.
Can I make a plug?
Yes. Now's the time
I
to make
do on my
a-
own Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Adam Conover, do a live stand-up comedy show every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Live stand-up comedy show on Twitch. I have it on Zoom, so we have live laughs. We have audience come. You can come join our live audience, or you can just watch on Twitch. We got 3 comics a week. It's great. Jen, you should come on sometime.
I will. I don't even know. I'm like, should I get into this Twitch thing? Should I get a Twitch account?
You know?
I don't know.
What?
So much.
Burnt out on Twitch.
It's
Watto's
fun,
burnt
but it's
out
a lot
on
of-
Twitch.
It's a lot of. It requires a lot of commitment. You know, like it's a lot of setup.
Oh no, I won't.
Yeah.
But I'll come on a show. Yeah, sure. But I won't start my own. No.
Jen, do you have anything you want to plug?
No. People should just listen to my podcast called No Fun. It's a solo podcast where I just talk about what's going on in my life, the world, or in my head. It's I say do it listen while you're washing the dishes. It's one of those, like you just someone talking to you, or when you're driving over a scary bridge and you need a friend, just blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do you have fewer reservations about me now that we've hung out for a little while?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think even if we disagreed on something creatively, we could probably work it out without a lot of like threats or anything.
I don't make threats.
You know, yeah, no, I
Like,
listen, I think honestly, like, you know, I'm into making a lot of money with you on these shows.
Right.
The only reason I have a little bit of a fear of success with it is because I know Adam's going to be in the financials. Like, you didn't donate it correctly. So it's just like, I have a lot of stuff to think about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how, you know, do I really want it that bad? So, but yeah, I think I'd love to work with you.
Adam, you know, his bark is very loud, but he's a cuddly creature. You know what I mean?
And my bite.
Someone just
And he
said
has
solid
also-
Adam.
He has a ferocious bite, but he's also a very lovable creature, I think.
Oh,
I think if
thank
we
you,
give him a
George.
starring role in one of our shows, he won't, you know, dig too deep in my how I'm not going to give a lot to charity.
He wants to play the farmer. He started out this show saying that he had never gotten the sweet, sweet network residuals. He's
Yeah.
angling to be top of the call sheet on the Mothership Farm to Table series.
Yeah,
I-
number one on
I
the call
will-
sheet.
I also
will,
think that
I'll think about it.
Adam, do you know Dick Wolf?
The Law and Order creator. Not
Yeah.
Bum, bum.
personally.
Oh
Isn't he dead too? No, he's not dead.
No, he's not.
no, never. Arguably, never more alive than he
No,
is.
No, just
Okay.
the careers of all the poor New York actors who no longer get to appear on Law and Order now that he's canceled so many of the versions of that show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. True cancel culture.
Why did you ask, George?
Out of control.
I don't actually know that it was the Dick Wolf show. I don't think this was one of his productions. Do you remember that? No, it wasn't his. This was a John Wells show, actually.
This show is maybe the hardest to leave I've ever been on.
Yeah, I feel like
Adam.
I'm at a family party.
Yeah, go.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, guys.
You guys
Thank
later.
you.
Get out of here.
Good seeing you.
Love you. I don't
Thanks,
know how to
everybody.
hang
Mwah.
up. Oh, I see it. Leave
You
studio.
gotta figure it out.
I just wanted to be the last to leave. Bye.
Right.
Forget it. Bye.
Patrick,
Why did you put them?
why did you boot them? They wanted to stay on the show.
I didn't. I
Booted
They
didn't.
wanted to stay.
I didn't.
It was a John Wells show that I was mentioning. That I was about to
Third
mention.
watch.
Adam.
What are you going to
Third
make a third watch joke?
Yeah. But there should be a reboot of Third Watch that's just about the 3 phases of him watching Ted Lasso, because he said he watched it at first and didn't like it, and then he was watching it, he started liking it, and then by the end he had a different feeling. And those would be the 3 different kinds of watches that.
The third
And
watch.
and why not reboot it as Fourth Watch, and he could be wearing a watch, and the watch says Ted Lasso.
I was going to say, I feel like you could also do a show called Third Watch, set in a watch repair shop.
Mhm.
And each episode is about one watch being repaired. But during the course of the episode, they acknowledge the last 2 watches they repaired off screen.
Also,
So you're only seeing the third watch in every cycle.
I also think because we're already coming up with so many different kinds of watches and so different meanings that it should actually be 30 watch. And
Lot
yeah.
of people saying Third Watch from the Sun, which was a
Yeah.
joke I was gonna make, but then I was like,
Let's
that
do-
doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna say it.
let's do you know what? I got a thought here.
But George, you're
Oh no, don't say another word.
No, don't say another word! Don't say another word!
Here's this. We do 30 watch from the Son of the Mask, and we get Jamie Kennedy to reprise his role as the Son of the Mask. Because here's the thing. I bet if we offer it,
He's never been hotter.
what?
He's never been hotter.
He
Well,
got-
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
The irrational pranksters got him. The irrational pranksters got Jamie Kennedy.
Here's the thing. If we offer him a thing, we know he'll say yes. He won't even look into whether we
Too
have
long.
30 watches.
No.
Yeah,
He'll just do it.
yeah.
And then later on, if
George-
we only get 15 watches, he'll be like, look, I don't know a lot about how many watches 30 watches are.
George, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Patrick was obviously about to come in with his tennis racket and interrupt your ball, right?
Yeah.
And you said, no, don't say another word, don't say another word. And then you looked very intently at your phone for a moment and then made your pitch. Can I ask, were you double checking that the movie was called Son of the Mask?
Yeah. No, I was just.
What did you think
remember-
it might be called?
I knew it was called. I felt 99% sure it was called Son of the Mask. I just wanted to make sure it was him. He
Oh,
was
sure.
indeed
Sure.
Son of the Mask.
He was.
Found it, right?
You found it?
This is. Do you want to know what the plot of Son of the Mask is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
more than anything.
More
We
than
see
life.
the mask go into the
More than
water and
anything.
sway away at the end of
More
the
than
original
number.
mask, right? The premise of Son of the Mask is he found the mask, and he wore it before stopping his wife in what happened to be the lovemaking session that would conceive their child. And so the child is the son of the mask because it's a baby that is inherently imbued with the power of the mask without having to wear the mask because he fucked with the mask on. So he's the sperm donor of the mask. That's what he plays.
Seems like a good guy who really does his homework when he's taking roles, so I feel like we could probably get him.
Well, I believe he's in a U.S. Acres movie that is very controversial.
Yes, that's what I heard.
All about Roe versus Wade, the cowardly duck from U.S. Acres.
Yeah, it's Roe versus Wade, the duck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. George, our guests are gone. Our guests are gone. Why are we still doing comedy? Why are we still doing this?
I don't know.
It feels like the regular show.
It feels like the regular show.
I strongly disagree.
All right,
well, then offer a rebuttal.
Offer a rebuttal.
Let's finish the
vote.
show.
Offer a rebuttal, and then we'll take a vote.
Okay, here's my rebuttal. We end the show.
What?
Hold on.
My rebuttal is just we end the show.
Hold on. Hey, don't say another word. Don't say another word. Okay. I just want to double check. The movie was called Malibu's Most Wanted. I couldn't remember the title. I just had to double check that. George, what are you thinking?
I put it in the private chat.
Let me see the private chat. Let me click. I mean, let me say this. It's a very good pitch.
I rarely use the private chat.
It's a very good. In fact, I cannot remember the last time you used the private chat. This is a seismic event, but it's a very, very good pitch. And I will say, anyone would be a fool to not take this pitch and run with it. Anyway, Patrick, we were waiting for you to offer a rebuttal.
No, my rebuttal is we just finished the show. Finish it, end it, wrap it up.
Okay, let's take a vote. That's in favor of wrapping up the show, is one vote. Okay, George, how do you vote?
I think I made it clear in the private chat what it will take for me to...
I feel the same way. I feel like there has not been a persuasive enough argument presented here, and until then, I have to insist that the show must go on.
Yeah.
Watto, what's your vote?
My vote is the show has not ended, and it will not end until you present a more compelling rebuttal.
Hang on, can I be honest? I read that. I did not see the final word instructing me to do it. I thought that was to you, Watto.
Nope.
Okay, ask me again, guys.
Patrick.
Patrick. Yeah.
No, George. George, no, I'm too angry. I can't. George, what are you going to say?
Well, if you think that this is no longer the regular show, if you think this is that we're now in the after show, then offer your rebuttal.
Offer a rebuttal. A good rebuttal could convince me.
Okay, here's my rebuttal.
What?
Oh, and Patrick?
Yeah, George?
Thanks.